Okay, great. So I will give, I guess I'll first start off by saying hello, everyone, and good evening. I'll give a brief overview, a recap of the discussions that we've had to date regarding the development program draft that is being presented tonight at this public hearing, and the primary and perhaps most important terms that are contemplated therein, as a highlight for context to set the stage for the public hearing or any other discussion that we have this evening. So the map that's on the screen shows the downtown study area from the downtown revitalization plan, which ultimately has been or is being proposed or a downtown TIF district, and that's a tax increment financing district. This is being proposed as what's known as an omnibus downtown tax increment financing district, and that term generally relates to the town's ability to provide credit enhancement agreements for projects potentially. That is an authorization that allows the town to do that. It's not necessarily a requirement. It's certainly not an obligation or promise to any particular party. It's simply an element of the development district that allows the town to do that in the future if it decides that that's desirable to do so. In terms of this area that's shown on the map in the development program, the acreage is 677.97 acres. That's included in this proposed TIF district. The term of the district would be for a length of 30 years. It would begin July 1 of 2021, and it would go through June 30th of 2051. The original assessed value, which is the base value of the TIF district, on which all new value would be captured, is $110,075,400. That value is designated as of March 31st, 2020 by Maine statute. And in a couple of different models, as we've talked in the past few meetings, the town, both through its assessor and through its consultant, Daryl, have estimated an increased, meaning a new potential assessed value for this district, to be approximately $17 million. And the projections, tax revenue projections and tax shift projections that have been calculated have been based on this estimate of potential new value. And so what the TIF district will do is capture the new potential new value of $17 million to the or any amount that actually occurs at 100%. And it will allow the town to designate and dedicate the tax revenue from that new value toward identified authorized project costs, which we'll talk about here. That's, in a really brief nutshell, the purpose of the TIF district and what is being proposed in front of you this evening. So the capture, as I said, would be 100% of the tax revenue that is generated on the new value, which again is currently estimated at 17 million, but at the end of the day, it would be whatever actual new value exists in any given tax year would be the tax revenue on that value would be captured at 100% as proposed. Based on the estimate of 17 million, that would generate an average of $216,365 in TIF revenue each year of the district. So over a term of 30 years, that would be just under $6.5 million in tax increment financing revenue. So again, that's tax revenue that is generated on new value that is then captured by the town for designated project costs that are being authorized in the development program. The tax shifts, as we refer to them, are shown in the development program. Those are the impacts to the municipality on state revenue sharing, state aid to education, and county tax, whether this value is in fact created and is not captured in a TIF district, or whether this value is in fact created and is captured in a TIF district. If the estimated value of $17 million in new assessed value in fact occurs and is not captured in a TIF district, the net new tax to the town would be estimated to be $132,960 per year, over the 30-year district of the, or excuse me, over the 30-year term of the proposed district. That's just shy of $4 million total. And then lastly, as we talk about the tax revenue and the potential capture of tax revenue, the uses of TIF revenue are set forth in the development program and in table number 1, and you can see that if you have the development program that starts on page 6 of the draft. This table sets forth the town's authorization to spend TIF revenues. And so this entire program, including the designation of the district in terms of the boundaries that you see here on the map, the acreage, the term of the district, the original assessed value, the capture at 100%, and then the uses of the TIF revenue would all be authorized by the town, both by the board at this meeting tonight, if it so chooses, and then at a referendum vote by town meeting. This then creates the development program document, which is adopted by the town and goes to the State of Maine Department of Economic and Community Development to be finally approved as consistent with Maine statute. That is the governing document for the TIF district going forward, and it establishes the town's authority to operate the TIF district going forward, including the expenditure of TIF revenue consistent with the project cost table that is set forth in this development program. So that's a high-level overview of what the TIF district is, what the development program is proposing to date. And then maybe I'll pause there if there are any questions, but then we can talk about next steps in terms of process that's required for adopting a TIF district.
Any questions for Alyssa?